Yeah, Darren, we're out here on Fairway Circle just off Thompson in Springdale, and just a couple of 100 yards from where I'm standing, there's some condos that look like they were not touched by the storm just 36 hours ago. But as you can see, this house behind me, this has been severely damaged by those winds that have come through and that EF2 and EF3 tornado damage. You can see this home has half of its roof torn off. Now, I was speaking with Matt earlier today, and he said, take a look at the roofs, because if a roof has been torn completely off, that is a sign of EF3 damage. This home has its roof torn partially off, that this would be a spot where it had likely EF2 damage. You can see the insulation has been torn from the attic. There is an awning here that's been ripped off. There's debris scattered throughout the front yard. We even see piles of bricks. We have seen homeowners in this neighborhood coming in and out of these homes trying to salvage what they can at this point, but you can see right now many of these homes are unlivable, including the one here behind me. We did speak with Springdale Mayor Doug Sprouse earlier today to get some updates about where things stand in the city. He did share some good news that 265 between Emma and Highway 412 out by the airport should be reopened sometime later today, and that would be the last road closure in the city that they've been dealing with because of the debris and the damage throughout the area. He also said that if you're looking for resources, if you're a homeowner in need, or if you're looking to volunteer, there are so many resources available on the city's Facebook page as well as on the city's website. So that's a great place to go for kind of centralized hub of information. We've been here for the last couple of hours. We've seen crews out here working to get cleanup started. There's volunteer groups out here that are working as well. And the mayor told me hundreds of people have stepped up and are interested in helping. We're going to talk more about that, how you can help, as well as what to do if you are one of these homes impacted and you have all of this debris to get rid of, what to do with that. We'll be talking about that coming up here in just a few moments. First, though, let's check in with 5 News Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge. He's going to talk about the history around EF3 tornadoes in our area and how rare they are. Matt? Yeah, Darren, again, we're out here on Fairway Circle, and we're just a couple of houses down from where we were just a few minutes ago. And you can see kind of the change in damage even from home to home in this neighborhood. Right over my shoulder here, you can see this home also lost part of its roof and had some of that awning kind of torn away. You can see debris in the lawn, and even the trailers out here where restoration crews and cleanup crews are already on scene. Just across the road, a similar situation for the house on the left side of the street with part of that roof being pulled away. It's already been tarped over, and you can see restoration crews on site to help clean up a lot of this debris that's out here. Just behind this home, actually, you can see some of these trees down in the yard that have completely fallen over. The root systems are up in the air, so you can see how powerful those winds were from the tornado to collapse those trees into these yards. And just beyond those homes, right around the corner here, you can see the crews out there cutting down and putting this debris into trailers to get it moved out of here from a tree that collapsed into this home's yard. Now, we did speak with Springdale Mayor Doug Sprouse just a little bit ago, and he told us about what people can do for debris. So any resident in the city, if they have debris that needs to be picked up, vegetative debris, even other debris, you can actually just set it out in front of your home. Now, all that debris does need to be cut into 4-foot lengths, so you can see these crews working to cut down all of this large debris to make sure that it is in those smaller pieces to be picked up by the city. But if you do have debris that needs to be picked up, just call the Springdale Public Works Department and they will come by and pick it up. They're actually going to be running trucks for the next couple of weeks every day. They're not running a particular route, he tells me. They're just going to be going to where they know piles of debris are and picking it up. And good news is, if you're a homeowner like this one who is using outside crews to do this work, or volunteer crews that are coming in with chainsaws to help you remove this debris outside, the mayor says if you're a resident of Springdale, so long as it's within that 4-foot length, they will pick it up for you. So these crews who are out here do not actually have to haul it off for you. The city will do that work for you, so long as you let them know that you have debris to remove. So that's definitely good information. One thing the mayor did mention, though, is if you can avoid driving through these neighborhoods, the volunteers who are out here, the homeowners who are cleaning up, the crews who are working, they need that space. So if you don't live here and you're not out here as a volunteer crew, if you can stay away for just the next few days and weeks to give them the space they need, that is definitely welcome. All right, let's check back in with Darren and Matt. I can tell you it's nice and cold out here. We even saw some flurries just a little bit ago. Absolutely. We've been out here for the last hour or so, and we've seen crews in and out of this neighborhood working to get things cleaned up and get on that road to recovery. I want to give you an idea of the damage that we're seeing out here. We're only a few houses away from where we were when we joined you on your 5 News First at 4. Take a look at this house behind me here. You can see this house has very minimal roof damage, just a few shingles that have been pulled off, but the windows are boarded up. There's big piles of debris out front, including even some leftover Christmas decorations from a few months ago. Just next door, though, you can see a big swath of the roof roof has been removed there. It's been tarped, and we can see that there are already some restoration service out in this neighborhood working to get these homes cleaned up. Just across the street even, this home had a big chunk of its roof taken off. It has since been tarped up here in the last 24 hours or so. This was a home that reporter Michael Wilson went inside yesterday and got a tour of the damage inside here. You can see the wind strong enough to even rip some of these concrete pillars, these brick pillars, off of their foundation as part of this landscaping on this home. And just down the street, just across the street, you can see crews out here working. They've been out here all afternoon working on removing some downed tree limbs. There's some big trunks down on the ground that they're cutting up to make sure they're small enough to be removed by the city. As we told you at 4, they need to be in 4-foot chunks or less to be removed by Public Works. And there's a lot of broken tree limbs that they're removing to get this debris out of the way. And we spoke with Springdale Mayor Doug Sprouse earlier today about how the city is recovering. And we did ask him what people should do if they are looking to hire contractors to help them with these cleanup efforts. And if you have any questions, what you should do. Take a listen.
If you have questions about a contractor, call the city, and we will we'll know. You know, we went through this with the ice storm years ago, and most of our contractors, especially if they're local contractors, they do great work. But if you have any questions about that or want to vet anybody, we'll help you do that.
Now, the mayor also did tell us that one of his concerns long term is because of those supply chain issues from the pandemic, that there won't be as many crews coming into the area to help out, because those construction crews are already fairly hard worked in other parts of the country. So that's something he's concerned about long term. But for now, again, if you have those questions, you can reach out to the city. And we've seen those crews out here already working to get these neighborhoods cleaned up. And if you can't afford to hire crews, there are a lot of volunteer organizations, hundreds of people who are volunteering through churches, through the Red Cross, through Baptist Church of Arkansas, that are out on the ground helping out. They're being coordinated through the city, and those volunteers are coming in to help as well. We will show you more of what's going on in this neighborhood coming up later on your 5 News at 5. For now, Darren, I'll send it back to you. Absolutely. As you talk about people helping people inside this neighborhood, as we walked around the corner to look at this damage from a different perspective, we came across this aid station. One of the neighbors in this neighborhood impacted by this storm has set out snacks, hot coffee for those out here cleaning up and helping with these efforts. So you can see that even in the midst of all of this, there are people out here helping others who have been impacted even worse than they have. And as you take a look just a few yards from that aid station, you can look over here and see the damage in this neighborhood, the extent of that roof damage here. A number of homes where these people are not going to be sleeping in their own beds for many nights to come. And just across the street, houses unhit, unimpacted by this damage. So it is really quite the juxtaposition to see where this storm came through, where the tornado impacted certain homes and other homes were left undamaged. So you can really get a perspective here of the kind of damage we're seeing, with the roofs ripped off, insulations even stuck here in these bushes. You can see just the little remnants everywhere. Here's some shingles just out here. So you can see the damage throughout this neighborhood, and it is widespread. We're already seeing those piles of debris out here that the city says it'll be working for the next few weeks to come pick up. Darren?
And that's pretty much neighborhood wide. You showed us that that relief station. I would imagine there are a few of those set up.
Yeah, this is the first one we've come across, but we even noticed from one of the houses next door that didn't have as much damage, a neighbor was walking with a box of trash bags to bring over to her neighbor who is needing to clean up. So you can see just those moments where people are coming out and helping those impacted far greater than them, and really stepping up and making a difference. And we know that these neighborhoods will be filled with volunteers for the days and weeks to come as well.
Yeah.
And I'm 5 News anchor Erika Thomas, live here in Springdale, where I'll show you more of that damage and the cleanup efforts already underway. Yeah, Darren, we've been out here all afternoon, and in just the last 20 minutes or so, we spoke with homeowner Joseph Webb. He was here cleaning up his home that was one of the hardest hit here, 700 Fairway Circle. You can actually see in this courtyard area, the roof has been pulled off this home. This large beam was actually about 15 feet away. It was part of the support that held up his garage. There was actually a garage here. You can see where this red trailer was. This was a covered garage that has now been fully demolished because it was pulled down by those tornado winds that ripped through here. And a few yards away, over here in the yard, this is actually his garage door, twisted and mangled. You couldn't even tell it was a garage door at first, but that was ripped off and thrown through the yard here. Joseph was describing to us all the impact in this neighborhood, that he and his wife was almost stuck outside as this storm ripped through. They were able to shelter inside quickly, though, with their animals and be okay. They'd only been in this home for a year and had just finished a remodeling process. Now they're thinking they could be out of it for another 7 to 12 months if it's able to be saved. But Joseph also spoke to the resiliency of this neighborhood. He said from the moment this storm hit, neighbors were out here helping each other. They've lost some large trees. They've had a lot of damage. His neighbor's home just to the right side of him is a total loss, but still they are rebuilding. But I did ask him about the emotion. What does it feel like to look at his home in this state? And he said right now it's just an emptiness, a hollowness. Thankfully, he and his family are able to stay with friends down in Fayetteville, and they will be looking for more permanent housing in the future. And that's something that a lot of people in this neighborhood are going to have to do here in the weeks and months to come, because many of these homes are unlivable. Now, while I was in the neighborhood earlier, I did speak with Springdale Mayor Doug Sprouse, who came out to look at the damage as well, and spoke with him about the resiliency of this community and about everyone working together for these cleanup efforts. Take a listen.
Initially, you think, this is terrible, and it is for those affected. And we continue to pray for the 2 people that are in the hospital. But it's a miracle that we've got 2 people in the hospital with the devastation we've seen here. But at the same time, it's so encouraging to see people want to come out and help so much. Hey, we live in a great place.
We definitely do live in a great community, and the mayor did say if you'd like to come out and help, the central location for volunteers right now is the Springdale Rec Center. You can call over there and sign up for volunteer efforts, or you can just stop by and figure out where they need your help the most. They also did tell us that Public Works will be coming through these neighborhoods and picking up debris. So long as those piles of debris are cut into pieces of 4 feet or less, they will be able to pick them up for all residents in the city. So just make sure you call Public Works or flag down a truck as it's driving around to pick up that debris in your neighborhood. And if you're looking for resources, whether you're looking to help or you need help, you can go to the city's website or their Facebook page. There's a long list of resources available there, but you can really see everyone bonding together and really helping each other out throughout this process. This is the impact in local neighborhoods. 5 News reporter Michael Wilson has spent the day seeing the impact on our schools. George Elementary, the worst hit of the Springdale School District. Let's check in with him now to find out how they're rebuilding on this second day after the storm. Micah? For the second night, many families in one Springdale neighborhood won't be sleeping in their own beds after the tornado badly damaged their homes. For now, all they can do is pick up the pieces and take things one day at a time. The buzz of chainsaws fill the air on Fairway Circle as the remnants of people's lives can be found scattered around the neighborhood. Roofs ripped off, windows shattered, all happening in an instant.
You can't prepare for stuff like this. There's no way to prepare for this. So
Joseph Webb and his wife Stephanie had just finished a year-long remodel when the storm hit, causing major damage. Their garage is gone, and the door was tossed across the lawn.
I feel hollow, to be honest with you. Breathing's kind of odd. To be, well, I mean, you want to be positive and think we'll move forward from here, but it's gonna be another long year, another year at least.
At this point, Joseph doesn't know if his home can be saved. But in the midst of tragedy, neighbors are stepping up.
Everybody here reached out and serving coffee, snacks, whatever it takes to keep you going on this, but it's been a rough 2 days here for sure. So
in the days and weeks to come, cleanup efforts will continue, bringing the community together in its time of need.
It's so encouraging to see people want to come out and help so much. Hey, we live in a great place. We really do.
Hundreds of volunteers and restoration crews are hard at work, helping friends and strangers clear debris and get back inside their homes.
Just being safe. That's the name of the game right now, is to be safe, take care of yourself and your own, and look out for those around you that look like they need help.
For Joseph, the shock of what happened won't soon wear off, but he says he'll keep on fighting.
You can't be in charge of things like this, but they don't give you a game plan for when it does happen. You're winging it.
Joseph tells me the next step is to find more permanent housing for his family and continue the cleanup process. Now, if you're interested in volunteering, the mayor says you can call or show up at the Springdale Rec Center to sign up. And for those needing debris removed, you can call Public Works for pickup and just make sure everything is cut down to 4-foot pieces.